Good evening, ghouls. Cold open here just to remind you that this is a part 2 of our Haunting of Hill House 2-part series. So if you haven't heard the first one, go back and listen to that one. It's a lot of fun. And then we'll see you back here for this episode. Love you, ghouls.
Captain, I'm surprised.
Well, it may be a surprise to you, but it's been on my mind for weeks. It's just my way of telling you that I love you, that's all.
I've ever heard it said out loud. Like, gritted teeth. You're so valid.
You're so valid for that. Did that sound easier? One last thing. This series is scary as fuck, and there's one jump scare in it.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
That's and like he could have done it without any, and I'm still not mad at the one that they did because
Perfectly timed. Like,
oh man,
because it's like episode 7 or 8 that it happens.
they're driving to the house, so I think it's like the second to last.
Yeah, because I think 7
They
is the
literally
one
wake
about
up
the
in Red Room
dad.
in the next episode.
8 is about the mom. Anyways. Yeah, and it's just like this show is so scary, and he doesn't rely like it's not cheap tricks, you know what I mean? Like it's scary because like the conceit of Hill House is that it's a house that's not right. You know what I mean? Like there's something wrong with the house, and like the doors don't quite meet up with the walls, and they don't, you know what I mean? And like things move around, and he plays into that so fucking well. You know what I mean? Like he makes things move around, and it's not obvious. You know what I mean? Like there's so many things that you'll miss on the first time that like I happened to see a video afterwards, like all the hidden ghosts in Haunting of Hill House, and I was like, hidden ghosts, and then I watch it the second time, and you're looking in the background, and they're
the
fucking
piano bench
everywhere.
and
They're fucking
All the
everywhere,
time.
and it's just like tiny little things that makes you super unsettled, combined with a brilliant score that's very like the theme of Hill House is beautiful, and like just ever so slightly changing things within the frame, and you don't even recognize it while it's happening, but it's still having an effect on you, and that's exactly how the house works. You know what I mean? That's how it drives you insane, is by making you change these little things about your surroundings and isolating you and like
and
making it
you're somewhere
unsettling.
you never were.
Exactly.
And you didn't realize it.
And now you're in the Red Room. Like
I'm reminded of that. There was a Vsauce video that talked about Stephen King's like classification of like
spooky
scary,
terror
spooky
versus
stuff,
horror.
right?
Yeah,
exactly. It was disgust, horror, and terror. Disgust being like
gut, like gross,
like a disease reaction, you know, like body horror, like things like that. Horror is going to be like a giant spider or a clown chasing you with a knife or something like that. And then terror is like the creepier one, where it's like everything you own has been replaced with an exact replica or something like that. Like, or feeling the breath on your neck and then turning around and finding out that no one was there. Stuff like that. And so much of this show lives in terror, and I really like that about it. Like, you're just constantly looking over your shoulder trying to see like what it is that's being done to you, or whether or not anything is being done to you, you know, like, are the ghosts real, are they not real? That one looks so scary, how could it not be real? Like, yeah.
I feel like one of my favorite scenes that has that is when the dad is like looking for the mom in the thunderstorm, and he's basically just walking up and down the same hallway over and over again. But each time he like turns around, it's like a little different.
Just a little different.
Just a little.
Like he's like walking through time, or like the statues are changing places, or some bullshit. I don't even know.
There's some bullshit, and
and
it's just it gives you heebie-jeebies, because it's like, as the viewer, you're like, I already saw that hallway, but like maybe it's different, and he believes it might be different.
Yeah, and that's like when you see him start to realize that something weird is going on, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I also really like the book and the show are very different. Like, just they're not even comparable as far as like plot goes, and I think it serves it really well for doing that. You know what I mean?
That's the best kind of adaptation.
I think so too. You know what I mean? And
it's
actually,
a different universe. You can't really one-to-one anything.
Yeah, no. And I think Mike Flanagan is amazing. He does that amazing. All of his adaptations of things are all, I think, he finds
of the thing
exactly
rather than,
because like the thing that Shirley Jackson does so well in her novels and like all of her writing is like showing like the horror of domestic life and like the horror of being a family and like the horror of living in a house and like there's genuinely horrible and terrible things that happen there.
A child
the
feels
exactly
whether or not that fear is warranted.
the fear of a mother losing their child to drugs or
The
to
inevitability
suicide
of
and
grief.
exactly. And I think he captures that so well in this in a completely different way that Shirley, because in the novel, if I feel like it focuses a lot more on the house itself, which is cool and I love it. It's great. And like the characters are a little bit like, I don't know, they're not like secondary or anything like that, because Nell, who is the protagonist in it, it's like kind of like this slow descent into madness of a woman in a house, and it's, as you're reading, it's like very like the story of a lot of women who go crazy in houses because they're stuck at home because they've got this like bullshit like stereotype of like the mom stays at home with the kids. Exactly, you know what I mean? And so that's what's so brilliant about the book is like this look into a perspective that obviously I've never experienced and a lot of other people haven't experienced in a context of like this horrifying house. And like I think that's Shirley Jackson is a master at that, and I think that Mike Flanagan, rather than focusing on the house itself, focuses on the people inside the house. And the house is kind of a setting that like catalyzes those kinds of things.
A vehicle for the character.
Exactly.
And maybe less of a character.
And that's not to say the house
in the book.
Yeah, exactly. And that's not to say the house isn't a character, because it is. But I think it's to a much less extent. And I think he's smart for doing that, because he took what Shirley Jackson did so well and he was like, okay, well, let me try and change it a little bit to do something that says something similar and that is like a companion to it. You know what I mean? And it's kind of funny because I was so critical of the show when I was writing my paper, and I just didn't believe any of it. Like, which is why I think inevitably it's not a very good paper, because one, I'm just not very good at writing papers because I like doing research for papers. And then once the research is done, I'm like, well, I'm done. Like
I learned it.
I learned exactly.
It's
in my brain. I'll give a fuck if anyone else.
This is what I
Yeah,
want.
exactly. I'm gonna go tell all my friends and family about it, but like I don't care. Like, you know what I mean?
Do I need to write it down? Right?
And also, I had horrible senioritis. Oh my god, I was the worst senior during my undergraduate, and I kind of picked because I went to a Mormon school, and so I picked writing about lesbians a little bit just as like a fuck you, you know, just because it was just like I don't know. Yeah. Also, I guarantee you, I was the first person at BYU Idaho to ever cite Pornhub as a
That's so
academic
hype.
source.
Oh my god, good for you.
That does feel like an achievement.
But yeah, I think that's why the adaptation does so well, as even though it doesn't follow the story like beat for beat, word for word. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think I don't know, man. Mike Flanagan is so good at adapting things. He also did an adaptation of the Shining sequel, Doctor Sleep, and like notoriously,
I've heard that whips.
It whips.
Yeah,
it's so good.
seen it.
It's so good, and like it's notoriously everyone's like, this is an unadaptable book, because The Shining the movie and The Shining the book are very different in their endings, and Kubrick and King were very like
Very
at
different,
odds.
as in like opposite.
Yeah, the hotel burns to the ground in the book, and it doesn't in the movie. Like it in an adaptation of the book, which obviously goes off the chronology of the original Shining. How are you going to adapt that for a movie? You know what I mean? Like it just doesn't.
First movie and do a movie sequel to a book.
Or you know what I mean? But like Mike Flanagan is a notorious Stephen King head, and like has done a lot of Stephen King stuff and done them very, very well. And Stephen King, he has said, I will never let anyone adapt it. And then Mike Flanagan approached him and told him what he's going to do. And he was like, okay, yeah, I can get on board with that. And so
that feels really cool.
It's so fucking cool. And he does it so he brings them together in a way that's just mwah, chef's kiss. It's so good. We have to watch it. It's so fucking good.
That rule. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
There's something about getting a blessing from like the old head.
Yeah,
you know?
and especially Stephen King, because Stephen King's a fucking asshole, and like he's not like he's notoriously not very nice about like adaptations and stuff. You know what I mean? And like he hated the adaptation of The Shining so much.
I would too,
like,
dude.
Yeah, I would too if I were him.
If you
if
just
I'm-
rewrote my story, like
if I'm being real, the movie's better than the book,
Oh,
though.
damn.
It's,
Yes.
I think
Owie.
I think Kubrick did a better job. I think they're telling two different stories is the problem, though. And I mean, we could talk about that on a different episode, but
Yeah.
yeah.
At that point, though.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
No, you got it.
No, go ahead.
Yeah,
I mean, like at that point, it's almost. I feel like if I'm Kubrick, and maybe this is just because I'm bitch made, but like if I'm Kubrick, maybe I just write my own thing, and at the beginning, do like a dedication like to Stephen
Inspired.
King. You know what I mean? Like like an inspired by.
XOXO.
I don't,
That's the
I
other
don't-
thing.
I don't get the. Oh well, I do get the impulse because like me sitting here as just an art person, I'm like I don't get the impulse to say that I'm adapting something if it's not going to be like a close
But wait,
adaptation.
you rewrite endings
Marketability.
all the time.
Yeah.
It's literally just like my Stanley Kubrick movie will be much more theatrically successful if it's a Stephen King book and
Yeah.
not a, you know what I mean? Not
Yeah. But
inspired
I mean,
by-
even
I was
I
gonna
don't
say
know.
you also rewrite the ending to movies.
That-
on the
that is an
pod all the
Alec
time.
thing.
That's an
I
Alec.
want-
Fun.
I want him
That's
to
a
do
good
a.
move.
I want him.
hypotheses.
Alec had a YouTube series idea where he does that, where like he rewrites the endings of like
Wait.
controversial shit and
That's
stuff to make
Wait,
it better.
how it should have ended?
And it's
Oh, I should have ended.
is that a thing?
Yeah.
Probably.
you
I'm
not
certainly not
ever-
the first person
were
to
you
know
But
not-
you
that.
could do it so good.
Thanks.
How you should have ended was like a comedic thing, though.
Oh.
It was silly.
Wasn't it like partly animated?
It's animated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like goofy shit.
Yeah, it's goofy shit.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I also was gonna bring up The Shining, unrelated.
Well-
but here we are in The
I
Shining.
love The Shining.
This is now the Shining episode.
Guess what? We're talking about The Shining now. No, well, okay. The
Well, kids have the Shining, right? Isn't that like part of? Hill
yeah,
House
kids
was,
have
like,
yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's not Stephen
stated,
King,
but
so.
and it's not
No,
Stephen
they have,
King.
like-
But
They
But
got
like,
goo in their
if
head.
you, they got ectoplasm between the ears.
They got
No.
gunk and ghosts and
You
stuff.
got some goo.
But like touching back on what you said, Robert, about like the domestic being an important part of it and like women going crazy in homes, I feel like to me a big tension between King and Kubrick is that like the novel is, and I think the movie is too, but the novel is more explicitly about like a dad falling into alcoholism and abuse.
Yeah.
And the movie, adapted by a person who was an alcoholic and abusive, and starring a person who was an alcoholic and abusive, turns out didn't really
Didn't
harp
wanna
on that as
examine that
much,
too hard.
quite as hard.
Didn't see.
Yeah, it didn't really hit on that. I mean, they did. There's no, writing that out of the story, but
I don't think the story's necessarily condoning those things, but the book
no,
explicitly
but the book
does
is
not.
like, this guy is
He
this.
burns down the hotel, i.e., the abusive,
Yes,
he expels the abusive alcoholism out of his
Yeah,
body. Yeah.
Exactly. It's like very literal.
And instead, in the movie, he
Freezes to death,
freezes
right?
to death
Mm-hmm.
and succumbs to those impulses. And I mean, it plays great on the screen, and I think he
Oh,
is.
it's great.
Yeah. Anyways,
But when
I obviously love The Shining as my
Oh, yeah.
my
Oh yeah.
fucking
The
Exactly.
setup is the Shining.
my side of
The
is
setup
The
is The
Shining
Shining.
coded.
but so there's that, and then when we watched the first 5 episodes, I was the only person who hadn't seen it, and I was drinking a little bit, and then I was like, this is Amityville, I know it. This is the plot of Amityville, which I also believe is about a dad kind of succumbing to his abusive tendencies, and alcoholism, and like portraying that as being like possessed. And I'm watching Hill House, and I'm seeing a lot of the same plot points examined, where the kids are untrustworthy of their father and like feeling like he did something horrible to her. And I'm like, okay, the twist is that they weren't actually happy, and that they had like some form of difficulty, violence, and that like the house is a representation of the domestic in the same way that it is in The Shining and in Amityville and like
Yeah.
a billion other pieces of art that are about haunted houses. And for it to not be about that, actually,
Yeah.
and for the house to just not contain their dissatisfaction, but rather like their dreams of the future, was really a big twist for me.
Yeah.
I think that I have a tendency though to believe that stories are gonna be like a secret, like it was their relationship or like their
was X
internal
all
strife
along.
all along.
I mean that happens a lot, so it's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
And like actually that's one of the criticisms that you can aim at this is that in some ways the plot does become predictable, you know what I mean? And I think that at a lot of points you and Kelbo, as you were watching it, were like calling things out and you're like, oh, okay, so we're gonna be doing this, you know what I mean? And like there were some times where you guys were wrong, because I think Mike Flanagan, I think overall it's an above average script, you know what I mean? But like there are some points where like, okay, we're in a horror movie, this kind of has to happen this way or that way, you know what I mean?
Zoomed into the rap poison
They
5
did it
times
too many
now.
times.
That
Yeah.
was a little
heavy-handed, yeah.
The first time I watched it, I
Chekhov's
didn't
rat
notice
poison.
it that many times.
I didn't
but
either.
I didn't watch it back to back.
I actually have never noticed it, like how many times they did it until this time.
As soon as
And I was like, man, this is
as soon as a
little
character
excessive.
as soon as a character says the word strychnine, someone is killed by it. It doesn't matter. As soon as
Like
we pull out a
Beetlejuice,
chemical name out of nowhere. Yeah, exactly. It's Beetlejuice. And I felt like I knew what the red room was gonna be, like that all their
Yeah.
rooms didn't
You
exist.
guessed that like crazy fast.
You
I
guessed
was
that
like,
the rooms weren't all real, but I don't think.
Yeah,
that we
yeah,
knew until
no.
they
I don't think that I
revealed
thought-
they were
yeah.
all
Yeah.
the red rooms.
Yeah.
You got a hell of a lot closer than I did my first
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, it was.
never.
I was just
realized that.
holy shit.
We have been here before.
It was really neat.
What about the
seeing
bent neck lady twist? Did you see that
Oh,
one coming,
no
or was
way.
that?
I
thought
thought
it
it
was
was.
the
I
mom
thought
for
it
a
was
long
the
time.
mom.
Okay.
I thought it was something in the future that had like come back, but I did think it was the mom. Yeah, I didn't think that. I caught that it was her 10 minutes before they said that, but
Yeah.
again, like that's not a feat of. Well, I don't think that it's because the script was bad. I just was like drawing a lot of parallels to things that I
Also,
hold very dear.
mental illness.
Which
bruv.
probably.
Yeah.
Pattern recognition.
I've
bruv.
got a wee bit of mental illness.
We love.
Yeah, and I think that like, there's a lot of things that Flanagan is pulling from too, and I think those
course,
movies
yeah.
are like big inspirations for him. So it's no surprise that like if you're familiar with the things that he's drawing from, because you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
he's so referential that like, yeah, I don't know.
And I don't think that's a bad thing for the record.
yeah,
You're doing a
exactly.
horror show, like
He's and like I think what he's doing really well is like collaging
yes,
those things. You know what I mean? Which
exactly.
And as a script writer or as somebody trying to adapt something, if you spend all of your energy making sure that it doesn't go where your audience thinks it's going to go, in my
It
opinion,
will.
that's the only thing you'll end up accomplishing
Right.
if you
Yeah.
accomplish it. You know what I mean? Like it's really hard to tell a really good story and like do good themes and like if you're overly concerned with like keeping them guessing until the very end, because what that is like a Hitchcock thriller, you know what I mean?
or like an Agatha Christie.
Exactly, right? But that's what they are. They aren't doing a lot of things in addition.
That's people are
to
reading it
keeping-
for that
Exactly.
aspect.
It's for the reveal, it's for the surprise, but like it would be really hard to, I think, deliver something as emotionally impactful and with so many like layered themes and stuff as Hill House, while also not allowing for some like, oh, this is what's going to happen in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Because it's like we can see
Yeah.
down this road a little bit. Like that's fine. And that wasn't a criticism you were making against it, but it was kind of a reality as we were watching it.
Yeah, and it's like like it's a part of horrors to see it coming, right? And
Yeah.
to not have any ability to change things. And like it would be such a stupid ass artistic like motivation to be like, it's basically equivalent of being like, I'm the only white boy who's like got it like that. Like, you shut up. Like, shut up.
I alone am goated with the songs.
Fuck you. Wear your Birkenstocks. Like, they look good. Shut up. You know, like, you're being boring.
Minor things as we're wrapping up. Justice for Shirley's husband.
Justice for Shirley's
I'm
motherfucking
sorry.
husband.
What's his name?
Kevin.
Everybody does
Kevin.
it. Everybody does it
Not
to
me.
Kevin.
First
Are you
viewing,
sure?
I was ride or die for
That's
it.
fucked up.
That's,
Are you
yeah, that's kind of fucked up.
I wasn't.
You're dabbling on yourself.
I wasn't.
See, and Kevin would understand too. Is like, you thought this?
He knew.
That's fair.
You know, he was like, I
Yeah.
know what that looks
There's
like.
no way out of this.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
No, I wanted to kill Kevin with rocks, and I was saying it out loud frequently. And then...
I know. Me, Alec, and Becca are just rubbing our hands together.
And it's funny because it's like that every single time you watch it with someone new. It was like that when we watched it with Alec. It was like it when Robert watched it with me. I was like, fuck you, Kevin. Fuck you. How dare you?
Shirley had to have her
go back to that. And then you find out, only to be revealed later, that Shirley actually cheated on him.
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck you,
like,
bitch.
And the indignation is just hypocrisy boiling under the surface. Like, yeah.
So good.
No, like, everybody who has ever seen it thought that.
Yeah.
Because it's literally framed just like that.
So
like, there's no other conclusion that you can come to. And Shirley, as a character, had to have her convictions shaken by her superpower, X-Man, mutant sister's retrocognition abilities and seeing the literal ghost of her suicide sister from her Jeep.
To be like, okay.
To be like, okay, maybe you weren't trying to fuck my husband.
Yeah.
Like,
And that's
because
honestly,
it really looked like you were trying to fuck my husband.
That is such a tightrope to walk, and I think he did it perfectly of like, I know what it looks like, and like, to be able to like frame it in such a way where like, you don't come in hating Theo for what she did. You know what I mean? Like, you kind of understand it a little bit. And I think it's like, obviously she did a bad thing and she knows she did a bad thing and we all know she did a bad thing, but at least that's not the thing that you thought it was, and that it's a little bit more understandable. And I feel like I don't hate her. Like, I'm like, okay, I know that you weren't trying to fuck her husband. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like something completely different and like almost like relatable, where it's like, I've been in places where it was so dark and I just needed to reach out and touch somebody. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
And not like, for her, it's obviously physical because it's tied in with her character and stuff like that. But like, I feel like a lot of people have known that feeling of being so alone in the dark and just needing to reach out to whatever's closest to you. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I think, I don't know, I
regardless of how that might look from a third party. Yeah.
Sure, yeah. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I think Mike Flanagan did a great job of writing that particular like intricacy.
I also wonder if like Kevin pisses like me, and it sounds like other people off insanely hard, because it's like everyone else I'm willing to give a little leeway to in the show because they're seeing ghosts and stuff. I'm like, that would be really hard on me if I was seeing ghosts, but fucking Kevin isn't seeing any damn ghosts.
Right? You're
so I'm like,
dude.
And you're fucking up?
Imagine a scenario exactly the same, except Kevin actually did make a move at Theo at that moment in time.
No, we should kill him with rocks.
Even worse.
I cannot, like, that is like the most unimaginably heinous thing that you could do, is cheat on your wife with her sister at your other sister's funeral.
Yeah.
Like, you should really just die.
Like, that is so unimaginably heinous.
Also, I just realized Kevin's character, like in the internal logic of the show, probably doesn't know that Theo is an X-Man. Like,
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So
he thinks that she just made
a
move
on
him.
Yeah. So that's
he's just like,
rough.
hey yo, hey yo,
hey yo.
Wow,
that's pretty rough. That wasn't as good as the one I did in the trap.
You woke the dog up. Look at her, just looking at you guys like, what the fuck?
Wait, I can see the audio spike.
Yeah, I was in pain for a brief moment.
I'm so sorry.
You'll just have to, if I clip too bad, you'll just have to put in actual audio of actual RTD2.
They won't be able to tell the difference
from the movies.
It's the exact same.
But it's like the Wild Thornberries noise that Alec can do.
Wait, no, you can do.
Will you please do that?
I can't.
Please.
Robert can do it really well.
One per podcast.
Here, I'm just gonna put in the noise right here and then pretend like it was you in the recording.
No, Robert, you do it so well.
Wait, Alec, go, please.
See, they did it. I don't need to do it.
Yeah, you do. Show us up. You gotta show us up.
Yours is better. It's so much better.
It's just louder.
And that makes
so
sense.
distinct.
That makes sense. Something I also want to not forget. Theo's Lebanese interest.
Oh yeah, that's
Cut it.
Problematic.
Cut it from the show.
Yeah, we didn't need it.
We didn't need it.
I don't know, dude.
We did a disservice to lesbians.
She did some odd things at some odd times, and it's like
Yeah.
Theo's bad, but I don't know if she's this bad. Like,
No, that shit was fucked
I've never
up.
seen anyone bad enough to make you go to their funeral uninvited.
unannounced.
Oh,
They didn't even tell you about it, bro.
I
Well,
can't
I guess
help
she
but
kinda
feel
did,
like
but-
they could have accomplished a similar thing by doing it something different. Like, I don't know. Like, instead of coming to the funeral, like, maybe just, like, she's walking up to the
Accidentally
door.
showing up.
Or, like, she's walking
Yeah,
up to the door.
That's good.
And, like, gonna drop some flowers off. And she's like, oh, sorry. Like, and, like, Theo
Yes.
catches her. And she's like, oh, sorry. I didn't mean to, like, intrude on you. I was just gonna leave these here because I saw, like, I heard what happened.
And then she would look like a sane person.
Yeah, exactly. and then you could show Theo having the same reaction that she did, where it's like, where the fuck do you get off? Like, why would you do that? You
Because
don't
Theo
know
was
me.
out of pocket.
Because
Theo was being
exactly,
mean.
Theo was mean, and it would have painted Theo in a worse light, which would have
Theo
been
was
more
kind
thematic.
of reasonable.
Yeah,
Like, I,
like,
If
what
someone
are
that you
doing
slept with
here?
twice showed up to your sister's funeral uninvited,
I told him to get the fuck out.
yeah, I'm like, cops, police, what the
I'm
fuck
calling
is
the cops
happening?
for the
Why
first
are
time
you
in my life.
talking to them?
Yeah, that's unhinged, and so that
Yeah.
that's another little bit of a what the fuck.
I think like the grimy, gross, upsetting like tummy hurt thing is that it's the only reason that person is a character in the whole fucking show is so then like all of the siblings can wind up with a partner in the end.
Yeah.
Because then it's like
Wait,
all
not
they.
Luke.
Well,
It's like no, Luke winds up with what's her name?
No, she's dead.
no, she
I think
did.
that was a.
She died.
Yeah, that was a Hill House like
Ghost.
hallucination. That
Bro,
you're
I'm
Yeah.
in the red room.
We're still in it. We never left.
We're gonna turn into goo in 3, 2,
No!
1.
She died, bro.
Actually, I don't know if
She had the runny
Did
eyes.
she die?
We don't get confirmation. She
I don't
just
think we
runs
see
away
her
and doesn't come
after
back.
she
Oh.
takes his money and.
She's
Yeah, no.
just a
So I don't
red
think
room thing
she's
after
Makes
that.
like a
confirmed
banana.
dead.
Okay,
Yeah.
my bad.
But,
I think
she
they
is
just.
not.
I still
You're
think that they
not
had to give
far
her a
off.
love interest, and
they
that's...
had her there so that they could fetishize lesbians, as Robert very much wrote about.
Yeah,
Yes.
literally.
Is that the angle
But-
you went at?
Why is
Yeah.
that the only sex scenes that we get? And the only nudity that we
Dun,
get,
dun,
really?
Why is
That's
there no
fucked
MILF
up.
nudity?
Show me full frontal penis and balls.
Also,
and
yeah.
cowards.
Show me mom and oh whoa, pause.
Whoa.
Pause.
Hold on, hold on.
In the sense that
In the sense that no, yeah, that's kind of what the angle I was going at, which I think is a genuine criticism about the show, is that like the book is very like subtle and like vague lesbian undertones, which like it's also a product of its time, you know what I mean, where you could say that like because in the book, which is kind of funny, that Theo and Nell are lesbians, implied lesbians, you know what I mean, together, not together,
Incest?
but,
Oh,
like,
okay.
I mean,
Oh,
yeah,
but
they're not
siblings
sisters.
in the
They're
I
not
see.
sisters.
Okay.
Yeah, no one in the house is family members in the book.
Whoa.
Yeah, so like I guess because it's kind of relevant. The book basically is like about a doctor who, like is interested in like supernatural phenomena,
Holy
and so
shit.
he finds out about Hill House and he brings like supernaturally gifted people to the house, and so like.
And it becomes a feeding frenzy for said house.
Exactly. Yeah, and like specifically for Nell, and so
it's
It's-
Nell like Poppy.
no Nell. It's not a good. There's
This
no
is
good.
the most I've ever learned about this book.
Yeah,
Because
there's no
like,
good
I
outlet.
want to
Like,
read it and then I'll read your thesis. And
It's
then
just-
I just never read it.
oh, you're never reading the thesis. No one's ever reading that. It is so bad.
At 10,000 subscribers, we'll drop
We're dropping in the Patreon.
The Patreon, top tier Patreon.
Along with my copy of
for all
1984.
those ghoul kings out there. The ghoul king tier.
I'll drop the embarrassing video for Mormon church I was in as a child.
Where he says,
Oh, wait, that was exciting.
he says,
I
it is-
repeated things,
He
out of
repeated
pocket things
things.
adult people told me were
he
true.
was a child. Hey ghouls, Robert here. Just cutting in to say that after a lengthy conversation, Alec grudgingly gave me consent to share the story, even though it's not that bad. But I felt like I needed to include this next part because Becca made the most unearthly, ghostly noise. So that's what you're going to hear here. I just told you I'm cutting it out. And you were like 6. What the fuck was that?
Was that you? I was darting my eyes
Alec
around the room.
Alec put his hands on the table and went like this.
I was doing threat assessment.
I thought that something got into the house.
I was trying to find out what was making that noise.
Alec went into panic mode. I saw him go into fight or flight, and he was choosing fight. You're lucky. You're lucky to be alive right now.
Alright, but if you say it, you don't cut it, you bleep it.
Okay.
Because I feel like that's funnier.
That
It is
is
funnier
funnier.
because if they ever find out, then the bleep is so unnecessary. There is a video that went around where they were like interviewing the primary children, which is like 12 and under. Alec
Okay.
was like maybe like what 7, 8?
I don't like that he's hanging his
He's
head in
little.
sorrow.
He's small.
It's-
He's in his
Yeah,
toad
he's a
era.
baby.
It's video evidence of my
Toad.
existence. I didn't wish it.
Yeah,
Toad? The
he-
Toad era?
Alec.
I look like a toad.
He looked like a toad, like
I wear
a
green
cute
suit,
toad.
and I'm fat and a child.
He wasn't fat. Like he was just like a chubby little kid. You know,
Just
like
a little guy.
just a little guy.
Like, just
Yeah.
a little-
In a bad way.
No.
It was cute. It's
Evil.
very cute. We'll have to
Okay,
show
anyway.
you pictures,
A
but
little frogy.
he was like, they fucked you up, dude.
They fucked my shit up.
So
Wait, why can't we get
They
this
fucked-
out? What
I
did
was
they
a
do to you?
precocious child. I talked a lot. I read a
Wait,
lot.
can I take a stab at it?
yeah,
Sure.
let's hear it.
Okay, they were like, hey, would you rather hit a vape or like kiss a gay man?
No, it
And
wasn't
you
that.
said I'd rather kill myself.
TikTok didn't exist yet, so this
Are
format
you sure?
So
didn't exist.
they
yet.
they were
I'm
asking them
sorry.
questions like if they know what they know about the Book of Mormon. And so
yeah.
they asked Alec, and they got his ass in a suit.
Everybody else
tie.
is just standing around in their normal clothes in a
Yeah,
backyard.
and they're like twiddling their thumbs and shaking their
Just like,
arms
"I
like
don't
children.
know."
And they put Alec in the bishop's chair behind the desk, suit and tie, had his ass sitting there with his hands like
Hands
this.
folded in front
And they
of
said,
Cute.
they said, what do you know about the Lamanites? And Alec.
Oh no.
I can't even think of the fact
It's
how
important
you said
context.
it.
In the Book of Mormon, it purports to happen in the Americas.
Yeah.
And the bad people in the book are supposed to be the ancestors of the indigenous people.
both of them.
here.
Yes, yeah.
The
Yeah.
Nephites and the
In-
Lamanites.
Yeah, sure. I didn't say it like that.
Oh no.
I can't even think of how you said it, but basically he said something.
It's
It's a book about the ancestors of.
I think more specifically, I
And-
said, so if you see anyone walking
Exactly.
around with a feather in their hair, that's probably a Lamanite.
and then they immediately cut to Alec's little brother, who's normal clothes, and they ask him the same question. What do you know about the Lamanites? And he said, "Diddly squat."
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Just
Oh my
incredible,
God. Oh.
incredible editing on
really
whoever
said-
did that shit. So
doing
hard
Nathan
cut from
Fielder
Alec. It's like very well worded but vaguely racist comments about the Lamanites to his little brother going diddly squat.
In an ill-fitting olive green suit.
They really said.
Fucking funny.
Oh
They
my
said
god.
Chase IQ 4, Alec IQ room temp.
But critically, it's not fun to be smart about racist things. I don't come off. I wish I were Chase.
You're a baby.
I wish I were Chase.
It is way better to be the kid who says diddly squat.
Wait,
'cause you're
wait,
like a
wait,
little
Alec.
old man.
Critically, you had not reached the age of accountability, so
I
True.
don't
Oh,
know
you're
how
free.
actually old I was. Yeah.
I'm giving you an out. Bro.
Even in Mormon,
giving you an
yeah,
out.
even in Mormon land, I'm innocent of my crimes.
Holy shit.
I don't know how we got here, folks. Do we have anything left to say about
Maybe-
Hill House?
Maybe a
That's a
cute.
lot.
Like,
There's so much
yeah.
that we could say, but
That's so true. Maybe a cute little exit is like, we could go around and say if you saw a ghost, like if you saw like a spooky ghost tonight, how would you react?
Oh, I have a great.
Ghost
Please.
story.
Well, it's not a ghost story. I tricked myself in 2020 because I was so scared of everything, and I watched Hereditary and started seeing shadow people in my room.
Yeah.
Anyway, there was a day where all the power lights went out, all the power went out in the city of Rexburg, and a giant thick fog rolled in, and I had to drive home by myself at midnight because Robert worked the night shifts. And I was like, what if I looked back in my rearview mirror right now and there was a dude staring at me? And I decided I would go, bitch, sit down. So that's how I react to ghosts now, is in my mind, if a ghost ever is like gonna pop up, I'm like, I just start throwing hands.
I do a similar thing, or I used to do a similar thing anyways. I do
a similar thing. Anyway.
Okay, fuck you, I guess.
And then she just got up and left. She just fucking roasted my
she
ass,
said,
got
"Get
up
fucked," basically.
to go get a fucking beer or ale or whatever the fuck that is.
It's soju. It's girly
We're
pop.
cultured here.
I used to do the same thing though, where like I would wake up frequently throughout the night. ASMR opening up the soju over here.
I'm saying.
Anyway, continue.
And I would wake up from my night terrors, and I would have my eyes closed, and I would be convinced that there would be somebody there.
I guess we just need to wait until.
Yeah, are you done? Can I continue?
That was great.
In the
Can we
fucking
have Alex
mic.
He probably does that often.
Alec could do like the Foley for this podcast.
You're laying it on thick. I know you're
Could
conscious.
you?
It's heavy right now.
No, I'm not.
I know you're gone.
I'm not. I just like you, bro. I just like your stuff, man.
I really admire your work.
I'm a fan.
Danny DeVito, I love your work.
Work!
The Mean Girls, it's coming back.
I'm so sorry, Robert. You've been the most interrupted man on earth.
It's okay. I would have my eyes closed, and I would think to myself, I know for a fact that when I open my eyes that there's going to be a face right next to mine. So if I know it's going to be there, I'm just going to not react at all. Or sometimes I'd be like, I'm just going to punch it as hard as I can as soon as I open my eyes. Or sometimes I would keep my eyes closed and I would just punch like with my eyes closed.
Just preempt it.
Yeah, just like preemptively
like throwing a haymaker
Imagine
into a shower curtain.
Exactly.
You
I mean, it kind of did one time because I was asleep on a beanbag at a sleepover, and I was like waking up, and I don't remember if it was you or Chase, but someone like grabbed my leg, and I full force kicked him right in the torso, just like folded him, like yeah, yeah.
It's like.
Yeah, that's what I would use.
Get him, dude.
If I saw a ghost, though, right now, tonight, I mean, I probably wouldn't react. Like, I could see a real ghost. I have mental illness, and I'm gonna leave it at that.
Why do you think?
I know.
Why do you think Umber still is pawing at people?
Bro.
I'm heavily medicated. My reaction would be to walk over and take another pill from my pill bottle.
I have inside lore, and I can say with confidence that Robert has healed some houses. Documented phenomena.
There was a particular house on a particular hill in Paraguay. That's I
Specific
frequented.
one.
My hallucination strategy when I get him is to lay face down on the ground until someone comes and gets me.
The possum strategy.
Tummy
To
time.
being haunted.
I have
Tummy time.
I have to go tummy time until someone comes and gets me.
How would you react, Alec, if you saw a ghost?
I mean, I'm a lot more fucked because I'm not medicated.
Damn, bro.
Sometimes I feel like the last man on earth.
We got
You're
spares
the
if
last
you
man
want.
at the table, I tell you what. Cheers to that,
Cheers,
brother.
brother.
I think, actually, no, I think I do know. What was it?
You would start singing "I'm a Child of God."
It's the no.
It was a go-to of mine too.
What was that movie? It was the movie with the mirror.
Oculus.
Oculus. Yes.
Oh,
So
that movie.
She
That's
goes,
another Mike Flanagan.
She goes.
That is
Oh,
Mike
is it actually
Flanagan.
fucking? Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
No.
That's
So-
like one of his first.
She copes by going like crazy analytical and like scientific on it. Like there is an observable, predictable like phenomenon at work here, and like I do this and this, and I'm getting these pictures. Like I would absolutely do that and just eschew any kind of emotional response I may or may not have to it. I think that would be my thing. Because I have no pills to take. Maybe like Tylenol.
I hear a knock on my door. Like, Robert, can I have one of your pills?
No,
Robert, I threw up.
I was gonna say you can have some of ours. We've got quite a
I'll just
store.
jungle juice your guys' medication.
Oh, you might start seeing things.
I took enough.
I don't know if you can
Poets
take
Society
our
meds
combo.
just to
You're
hear
gonna see a
that.
lot of ghosts.
It's ghost time. Oh man.
You want to get haunted?
I'm going ghost.
I'm going ghost.
I'm going ghost protocol. Alec.
Danny Phantom's just like popping fentanyl.
No, not the vet.
Going ghost.
Going ghost.
He's leaning in the afterlife.
I saw him on the street corner today.
Danny Phantom?
Yeah, Seattle.
You're supposed to lay down
Oh.
face flat until someone comes and gets you. One time I thought that I was gonna start seeing ghosts because I had a weird thing with crows for a while, where I
I
left
have a
my
thing with crows too.
home for a week, and then I came home and like there was a dead crow in my bed,
Oh.
and I was like, uh-oh. And then crows kept coming up to me and like touching me and like landing on me, and I was like, uh-oh. But then that stopped.
My experience with crows was much more pleasant.
I love
Yeah.
that. How was it?
I'm a big fan of Corvus.
I was I have. Man,
There's
we're-
no
we're
good
go-
way to
we're
tell
going
the
through
story.
maybe I should
Okay.
avoid saying that on the pod, but
Bleep.
We'll put it on the Patreon.
there's some criminal implications.
Robert had sex with a crow. Oh, I'm sorry.
And
really.
it was great. Much more pleasant.
Crows and corvids,
The crows.
by some measurements, do have sentience.
No.
That means they consent. That means they can consent.
They can
Okay,
consent.
and
They
it
start
did.
throwing dollar bills at you.
Oh, I know we're too late in this for like anything because I almost was like, if you could have a cloaca, would you? But we're too late in the.
We need to
we
write
gotta-
poems. We need to write
I'm
poems.
just saying shit at this
Yeah.
point.
Too much
Fuck.
soju right now.
Letterbox and poems. Okay, you're good.
I'm glad you think so, Al, but my list vaguely matters.
I would say like the top 20 matter.
Maybe.
Top 10. Top 10 matter.
Top 10 matter.
The ends of the bell curve.
It's at 11, right over The Truman Show and under Boy and the Heron. But I said, again, it doesn't matter because now I'm, like, looking at my top 10 and I'm like, it needs to be on there, but I don't know. You know, some of these are kind of... It's better than some of these, but not as good as some of these.
Valid.
Which isn't valid for Robert's list because I saw where you put it.
I mean, I don't think you'll be surprised to know that it's number 1 on my list. Like, it's just one
Over
of...
Jaws, eh?
Yeah, which says something because I fucking love Jaws.
Love
And I actually,
Jaws.
You do
I
be
actually
loving Jaws.
struggled a little bit whether or not it was going to be number 1 or number 2.
It's kind of cheating too because it's a whole ass show. So
Exactly.
you can do so much more.
Exactly, and that's and at the end of the day, that's what put it over Jaws for me. I think that Jaws visually is one of the greatest movies. Like,
If you really wanted to, you could cheat and just say Jaws is your favorite movie and Hill House is your favorite series.
yeah, exactly,
Which,
and
which is actually like the truth. Like,
yeah. And I don't know. I think I do enjoy it more than Jaws, so I don't feel too bad putting it over Jaws. You know what I mean? Because I think it fits my sensibilities a little bit more. I think I have a lot more personal connection with it, and it's just like you get so much more from it than you can because it's 5 times as long as Jaws. So yeah, number 1 for me, obviously. Al, is it above Mean Girls? Below Mean Girls?
It is below Mean Girls.
Valid. That's valid.
Fun.
Yeah.
I really loved this show. And although I resonated extremely well, I also resonated with Mean Girls and the horror of being a teenage girl very strongly. But I like Mean Girls is one of my like all-time heart movies.
Yeah.
So it's hard to, and it's kind of hard to rank show versus movie for
It
me.
is
really
hard.
a bit.
Yeah.
So I don't mean any disrespect on Hill House. I mean it as an honor
I
because they're
I
close.
I kind of figured it would be that way anyways, just because like I don't know, like Mean Girls is a really important movie. You know what I mean? And especially for people who grew up around that time,
for
you know,
sure.
who are like a similar age when it was coming out and stuff like that. Like there's something in the same way that I have a connection with Hill House, I could see a lot of people having connections with Mean Girls. Just, you know, not in the same way, like you know what I mean?
Yeah, fully.
Because it's like a comedy versus a drama is like different. You know what I mean? Like
Exactly.
the way you attach emotionally to something. So
Yeah, and I think also I hate like a lot of comedy movies. Like they kind of repulse me as a genre generally.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're not funny.
So when something does it well, it's like, oh wow.
Yeah, versus like I resonate with a lot of media that's like about similar themes as Hill House, I guess. Even though I think it did it really beautifully.
Alec?
Numero 5. Beaten out only by Nope, Jaws, Fire of Love, and Akira. That's me.
And what's underneath it?
Mad Mac.
Yeah.
You handled that ice cream
fucking
bite
way.
so well.
So delicately.
You did that so good though.
You
Pocketed it.
Oh, wait for me. Oh my god.
Oh my god, stop.
All right. Who wants to go first for poems?
I can go for it.
Okay, go ahead.
After podcast, ice cream making.
Yeah, keep going.
Yeah,
We're like 2 hours deep into this recording, so it's our etiquette is slowly degrading.
It turns out that
the
we,
mic
like,
etiquette.
We like hanging out with each other is the thing
Weirdly
that happened
enough,
to us.
We're living in a podcast.
We're in the red room.
We're
Our red room is hanging
yeah,
out.
our red room is the
red room is the
podcast
kitchen
table,
table.
which is our kitchen
Yeah.
table with mics.
Our red room is like chilling
The
and
brown
hanging and
table.
like chilling.
Okay, I guess I'll go first if Alec's still eating his ice
Wing.
cream. I just did a little haiku because I feel like it's going to take me 2 weeks to write an actual poem, so. Pit of the stomach, heart of the home, in pieces, split, all confetti. Thank you for the
All confetti.
moans.
Anytime, babe.
That was the word you all went.
That was. You don't know me. If you think
Oh.
that was
Shit!
that was a contented sigh. At best.
I'll go next. I similarly don't think I had enough time to really process it, so I was challenged to write a single sentence, and since this book or show, whatever, begins with a single sentence, I followed suit. An undergraduate thesis written in a hammock about a house on a hill. A single sentence can't hold every ghost this pen can write, but speaking as a house whose cells cannot exist sanely, a found family falling together, meeting neatly behind doors that are firmly shut, will never walk alone.
The DB weapon.
Thanks.
Really mentioned the whole.
Yeah. I did write the majority of this undergraduate thesis that we've been talking about at Mike's Hole, Dirty Mike's Hole, which is have we told you about that? Where like it's just like a little creek that me and Jaden would take the dogs to. It was really overgrown, and so like over the summer we would just go there with like tools, and as the dogs were running around in the river and stuff, we cleared out like a space, and then
a little Terabithia.
yeah, a little Bridge to Terabithia type thing, and yeah. And most of this was written in a hammock sitting at that place. So
Yeah, and there's stories about the hammock.
yeah.
Yeah. Help me.
I love that place. Yeah,
Makes me wanna
I
cry.
actually I kind of conflated that memory with when I was writing this, because I like thought that happened. Basically, I was sitting at that hammock one day with Umber as she was running around, and I was like this. It's also the first place that I ever read a poem, and so I was sitting. I had like this little flip notebook, and I was writing a poem on one page, but on the page like opposite of it was a prop from a short film that we like shot, and it said "Help me" on the like thing, and so like in like big like bold like very legible letters. So I'm sitting in this hammock like writing this, and this guy walks by, and we start chatting because he had a dog, and he happened to be like a recent graduate English major. And so we were just like kind of talking shop, and I like had my pen and paper like still in my hand, and I didn't notice. And then I saw his eyes like look down at the notebook and then like look back up at me, and then like I realized what was on the other page, and so I looked at him, and we had this moment of silence, and then he was just like, "Hey, are you okay?"
Oh my god.
Not the help me note, like you're in like the window of like a semi truck being trafficked over state lines.
Exactly.
Trying to flag down attention from a soccer mom in the next lane.
And the note is so stupid too, because in the film it's like me and Becca are sitting across from each other, and we're like arguing
over
about
like a salad
or something like that, and the waiter is like writing like in his like little like waiter like notebook, and like in the film like flips it over, and it just says like "Help me" on it. So it's like a really stupid silly prop from like a stupid sketch that we shot in like 5 minutes. And then yeah, he was just like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, I need to explain to you, and I know that this is gonna sound like I made this up.
I'm gonna give you a lot of details because it feels required.
Because like I don't want you to feel like you could have stopped something that was coming.
You're not a hero.
You're not.
Don't be a hero.
Don't be a hero.
That's so funny. But it's also weirdly so tender that I might cry.
I know, right?
Yeah, it was a very
thought
sweet
he
moment,
could.
and we were laughing really hard. And I was like, I really appreciate you that you said something though. You know, like not everyone would have said something. And yeah, it was very very sweet.
That's
He's
so
got a red
beautiful.
dot on his forehead.
He doesn't see it, but it's there.
Oh god.
Fuck.
All right, Alec.
Someone else read a poem.
Yeah, someone read a poem.
I have no Hello ice cream in my mouth this time.
Oh wait, no, listen, I have to conclude this. Not fair.
Beat it. Let's you and me fix this haunted house. Secret fungus, cracked lead, matching windows missing. Let's take our time in as much as humans perceive it, and toss it into the air like snowflakes, or like confetti. If the statues catch you, and you die before me, would you haunt me lovely, scare me, hush me? It's okay if you look something frightful, so long as you're here, so long as you're you. If you sit with me a while, I'll promise not to join you too soon.
The statue. Read the statue line again.
If the statues catch you,
yeah,
and you die before me.
I like that.
This
good.
motherfucker.
This motherfucker. I like that this is my second podcast episode. But in both we're like, Alex, say that one more time.
Alex is just like good at poetry.
He'd just be writing good poems
Oh my
sometimes.
God.
I don't know.
The only thing that I wish that you did was just like say it like 2 times slower, so then I could just like bathe in it a little bit, you know?
Just like I have a little
I'm
soak.
not
actually
immune to
going
on just,
propaganda.
like-
Stop.
He's actually gonna delete
like-
it forever after this podcast episode.
Gone forever.
Okay. Here's my poem. A ghost is a wish. We are what we desire, tantalizing what we pretend to be. I am visions of cut-up ceiling glow stars, and of blood mixed with silly putty, and braces bitten drywall. Both heart and stomach, I see all futures. I succumb at all times. Sword of Damocles, daydream fuckery. Kill me dead another day. I lease this body to craving, and forgive my colluding wants.
Oh, well, fuck you.
Damn. I'm glad you went last.
Yeesh. Sorry, I don't know what I'm on about.
That was really good.
That was so good.
I just say shit sometimes, guys.
It's a little secret with me and the viewers.
Secret.
It's a little secret between me and the viewers.
Oh, wait. We don't have viewers. This is a podcast.
Kelsey is gonna love
Somebody
this
help.
one.
Somebody please.
You mean Kelbit?
Kelbit, Cleblo,
Kleblo.
Klebly.
Well,
Flagrantly.
that was a Successful
That's quite the
podcast.
episode. We might have to release this one in 2 parts because it's so long.
Yeah.
Ooh, a double feature.
Would be the first
Two-parter.
time we ever did a 2-parter.
That kind of fucks though. That kind of whips.
Yeah, I think
we
it fits.
We should release it into 9 episodes.
Yeah.
9 episodes. They're 5 minutes each.
Not because we talk
And it's gonna
about
be the
9.
stages of grief in each of the 4 elements.
Yeah.
Ow! Do you see that liquor just came out of my nose?
Oh!
Oh no!
What came out of your nose? Liquor?
Liquor, I hardly knew her.
Oh, it hurts so bad!
Rocking with the hard
Not on
art.
the septum!
We've got soju in the septum piercing.
Oh my god, it hurts really bad. Oh, it hurts really bad. Okay.
Al really landed on that hard R in
Oh.
liquor, though.
Fuck!
Al, please!
I don't know what to do.
Guys,
Run it underwater!
Al, this is literally you right now.
There it is! There it is!
Oh my god. It hurts really bad. Why did that happen to me?
You gotta snort it. Oh god. I wish so desperately we had a video element of Owl just sticking their nose in a shot glass of water. Here we go.
Oh, I'm
This-
so fucking sorry. Okay.
Here's the thesis that I gave for my paper. Given that the Gothic novel addresses societal fears, the differences demonstrated in Shirley Jackson's original novel and the most recent film adaptation shows a regressive fear of homosexuality in mainstream culture that is unhealthy.
So true, King.
That's what I was writing when that man saw me with a page that said "Help me."
Being forced to write about lesbians.
I'm sorry, that was the fucking grossest thing I've ever done. I'm so sorry.
It makes for great content.
I'm so sorry.
All right, ghouls.
All right, ghouls.
I don't know how much of this.
At the end of this sojourn of
Yeah.
ours.
Watch yourself.
honest-
Sojourn.
Sojourn.
You're gonna trigger
Sojourn.
Al.
I'm in pain. This is the second time my nose has gotten fucked up on this goddamn
You're right,
podcast.
it's cursed!
Yeah, it's a
An
pattern.
eye for an eye.
An eye for an eye, but both
An
eyes
owl
are my
for an
nose.
All right, ghouls. There are
Good
nose claws.
love you.
night.
Bye.
Good night.
Sorry.
Love
Bye.
you, ghouls. Good evening. Bye.
I'm so sorry.
I just want you to be okay. Are you still in pain?
It like stung so bad.
Yeah, it's
I
alcohol
cannot
in a wound.
imagine. Literally alcohol in a hole.
It just